All right, here we go. It is intake time. MST, done a couple of these before in the past. The install is going to be pretty easy. I think the most difficult part will be taking out the old one, which is not really that difficult, so. Step 1 complete. No, but seriously, this is pretty simple. We have a bunch of rubber grommets being held in over here and under here, and then one underneath it. And then we have this guy. Then this whole airbox piece comes out, and then we can access the second little clamp down there, and that will release the secondary part of the air intake. And then we can go ahead and assemble the new one. I don't know how it goes together, but I will figure it out and show you. So right now, there really is no induction noise at all. You can hear turbo and obviously exhaust because we have a downpipe, but there's like zero sucking, zero swooshing, any of that. Once you guys hear what it sounds like with the MST though, these are pretty wicked. And I'm also doing a hood that may or may not have a vent right here. And when you put those on with that, it gets crazy loud. Not to mention there might also be a bigger turbo going here. And if that happens, then everything even gets more amplified. It's gonna be wild. This one for me is a 6 mil. I don't know what it is for you guys, but that's what it is for me. Loosen this one up, a flathead, pop these off. All right, so once we have this top portion out, we actually leave in the bottom inlet. We don't touch any of that, so all of this stuff stays. So really all we have to work with is this and this area. All right, so I just went on like a little bit of a cleaning tangent. I was just like cleaning up one thing and then I just sort of went crazy and cleaned up a lot of stuff. I think at some point I actually want to do like a deep degrease on this entire engine bay and make a entire video on that, because you can actually like go in and really clean. If you ever watch like Chris Fix, you know, he does a lot of videos on that kind of stuff. And I would like to do that to this engine bay, but I was cleaning up a lot of the Tessa tape, put on some new stuff. Because you'll notice a lot of times in older cars, you'll see this stuff start to frail and come apart. And so I like to put on new Tessa tape to just make sure everything is clean. Anyways, we got to get back to the intake. So we're leaving on the inlet part. And then now let's actually work on this guy. So we're gonna take the tube portion, and on our old tube, we're gonna swap over this sensor. You're gonna see these two little Torx, but we will not be reusing those. We will be using the hardware in the bag. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap that over. This is a T20. So we actually do need to pull out one thing. Completely forgot about this. We got to pull this grommet out. That was the factory airbox was using that grommet. So it's a 16 millimeter. So once you pull that off, we are going to be actually reusing this to fasten down the new airbox. So now we're going to grab this heat shield section. And if you look at the curvature like this, you can see that the engine bay has a big cutout where that fender is. And we're just going to go ahead and slide this down here. And if you look down there, where that 16 mil we just took out, should pop right into place like that. So for the time being, I'm just gonna take the piece that we took off, the 16 mil, and put it back on here, but I'm not gonna tighten it down just yet. There's also a bracket you'll see right here where we're gonna end up using a nut and a bolt through there to fasten that piece onto there. So obviously we have the rubber coming through here, that's where the pipe is gonna go, and then the cone right in here. And for the inlet portion, we're gonna take our tube. Let's go ahead and put the coupler on first. I got the coupler on. I've tightened down the one right here on the inside. I've left this outside one loose. Those are 8 millimeters, by the way, on here. So if you look at the orientation of how this is gonna go in here, it's going to be like that. So it's gonna come out of there, come right up on top here, and then into this section with your cone inside of there. So what you wanna do is make sure that your 8 mil is facing in this direction. So really the only way that we're gonna be able to access that is from the back side over here. So just keep this loose, but keep it facing in that direction. So when it comes time to tighten it down onto the inlet, we can access it from over here with a long extension. So the way to get this in, we're gonna finesse the top side and then place in the bottom side. Just get in down here, and then go ahead and secure it onto the inlet. All right, so once you have everything seated, you can go ahead and tighten down that 8 mil. Just remember that you are tightening that 8 mil onto a plastic inlet. So you don't need to be like Hulk strength with this thing, or you will crack it. Oh, listen, the Mustang neighbor's home. I should just gap him in my family sedan so he shuts up. Look at that dude, look at that dude. So you guys can kind of see the angle that I'm going for here. Just to show you, like that's what I'm doing. to get to that. So, little guy, 8 mil. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten that down. And then you have a little bracket here that we're gonna put a nut and bolt on. Throw this little nut, washer, bolt, dealio combo onto here. 10 mil, 16 pipes coming through. These are all fastened, nice and tight. Everything seems good. Let's go ahead and get this sensor on. Now we can go ahead and work on our cone. That seems good, super solid, everything is sturdy. All right, so lastly we have this part, and this part is largely up to you guys whether you want to run this or not. For efficiency, I probably wouldn't run it. For heat soak, I probably would run it. I do want to run methanol in this car, so I'm not too worried about heat soak, but for the time being, we will go ahead and finish her off with the shield. It's gonna look good. Sweet. I like how it fits, man. Fits really, really nice in this corner. Everything is super clean. I do like the wrinkle black. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and hop in the car, go for a little drive, and then I'll get you guys some sound clips down the road. This car looks so good, dude. I can't get over this thing. Sheesh. It's so easy to make these cars look good. Oh, I just love it. Panda. God, it's so nice. Car's still a little cold. We're gonna let her warm up. Oh, this car is just coming along quickly, boys. The exhaust is breaking in a little bit too, and it just sounds so good. That exhaust is definitely breaking in. It's getting a lot louder. That sounds wild, dude. Oh, got a little 370Z. You want the smoke, bro? What's wrong, dude? It's just a little family sedan. Nothing to be scared of. Just on my way to the grocery store, dude. Getting groceries for the family. There's a whole lot of induction noise going on. I don't know how much you guys can hear it, but it is pretty loud. B58s get rowdy, dude. When you straight pipe them and you start doing all this stuff to them, they get rowdy. This thing moves out. It is crazy. Oh my God. I'm really enjoying this steering wheel, man. This thing is nice. Going from that one that I had to this one is like night and day. You don't want that smoke, my G. However, if I were to buy a Lambo, I would definitely get a Gallardo. They're so sick. Plus, it's probably like the only one I can afford. I can still smell the exhaust like breaking in. You know, that new exhaust smell? So let's head down the road to another spot. I'm gonna get you guys some engine bay noises and some stationary revs and whatnot so you can hear it. One thing about this car is it do be scraping a little bit because she's low, man. The fronts on these cars always sit super low. I can't get over it, it's so loud. It's friggin' loud. Jesus. Honestly, I don't even think you can hear it because the exhaust is so loud. This exhaust is definitely breaking in and getting louder and louder, but it sounds sick, dude. It's got like a really good tone to it. I like the way this car sounds. I heard it a little bit. I heard like just a little bit, but it wasn't too crazy. It's pretty like tame induction noise. So right now I have the valves completely open and I have them staying open. I actually use Beamer Link to open them all the way. So that way, no matter what mode I'm driving in, it's open. Would I do that all the time? Probably not, but this car is I kind of just want this car to be like a rowdy car and just have a little more fun with it. But nonetheless, dude, intake looks really, really good. I'll have to see in editing how it sounds. Probably sounds a lot like my other MST intakes. They all have a very similar tone to them and they sound good. But yeah, if you guys need this intake, I'll have it linked down below. Really easy to install. I got it from Keys Motorsports. Shout out to Keys Motorsports for sending that out. Appreciate those guys, man. They've been sponsoring this build big time. Could not have done any of this without them, for real. I'm just really fortunate, like being that this is my job and I have these sponsors and partnerships on board, that I am able to build these cars in the time that I am able to build them in. As you guys have seen, I'm pretty much like blowing through this build and just knocking stuff out every day. And that's what keeps the content rolling. I love doing the installs and stuff like this, but I really like to get into like the data, getting on the dyno, and then taking this data and taking this car and the build out in the real world and showing people it and running it and just having fun. So obviously right now we're in the very beginning stages, but this car is gonna get wild, dude. It's gonna get so crazy. I got some sick stuff coming for this car. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're interested in buying the MST intake, I'll have it linked down below. Huge shout out to everyone who's a part of this build. Hope you guys enjoyed the car show footage in the end and my lovely E36 M3. God, I love that car. But just like that, guys, we're gonna wrap this one up. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.